Hello everyone, welcome to today's newsletter. Let us begin with the practice question of the day. Right, so take a look at this question. Which among the below mentioned organizations releases the State of Global Climates report? So, of course, whenever it comes to the international organization, you need to know about the important reports or data that is given out by them. So this particular report is released every year by the World Meteorological Organization. If you take a look at the options, all the options are related to the bodies which are in some way or the other related to climate or global meteorological conditions. So this is a little confusing, and this is why when it comes to prelims, at least some data-based facts should be remembered properly. So important reports and indices you need to know, you need to remember, try to memorize them. That's the only way. So the State of Global Climates report is released by the World Meteorological Organization. India-Bhutan relationship, it was in news today, and apart from that, the Bhutanese Prime Minister is going to visit India. So we need to know about the basic details about both the countries and their relationship, because in mains examination you can get a question. India and its neighborhood relationship is always a very important topic, and you should be knowing about it clearly. So some basic information which you can use in your mains answer writing has been provided here. Take a look at it and try to remember it properly. In 2017, when Doklam standoff happened between India and China, Doklam is located in Bhutan. At that time, Bhutan allowed Indian army to cross into Bhutanese territory and defend their territory. So this clearly shows how much importance Bhutan gives to India when it comes to their security setup. So this point is extremely important. Bhutan is one of the few countries in the world which is trying to become completely carbon neutral. They live sustainable livelihood. Their religion talks about sustainable livelihood, and India is a major partner in trying to help Bhutan realize this dream. How do they do it? Because Bhutan is a hill-based country, so it is very difficult for them to have electrification completely. Along with that, trying to become carbon neutral. So one important step which India has taken in developing Bhutan as a carbon neutral country is providing with hydroelectric power resources. So we will study about the four major hydroelectric projects which India has undertaken in Bhutan, which has a total capacity of 2,136 megawatt. Name of the projects are important because if you get a question about it in prelims, you should be in a position to answer. Sukha hydroelectric power, Kurichu hydroelectric power, Tala hydroelectric power, and recently commissioned Mangdechu hydroelectric power. Try to somehow remember the name of these hydroelectric power projects. So, four important hydroelectric power projects have been developed by India in Bhutan, and Bhutan exports the excess power to India, and India has been invested in infrastructure projects in Bhutan also. Bhutan still follows the 5-year plan, and at present, 12th 5-year plan is going on. India has provided 5,000 crore as an assistance for Bhutan in implementing the 12th 5-year plan. India and Bhutan totally has 699 kilometer long border, almost 700 kilometer, but we do not have any problem. There is no border issue between both the countries. And totally 80% of Bhutan's import and 80% of Bhutan's exports comes from India. So these points should be remembered. What are the recent projects which are online? So India is trying to develop a cross-border rail link project between Gelefu in Bhutan and Pokrajar in Assam. It is of 58 kilometer. Once it is developed, goods can easily be transported from Assam to Bhutan, and it will result in Northeast India's linkage with Bhutan. Apart from this, this is the first rail link. Second rail link is also going to be developed between Samse in Bhutan and Banarhat in the tea gardens of West Bengal. So the first train linkage will be from Gelefu to Kokrajhar in Assam. The second one will be from Samse to Banarhat in West Bengal. Apart from this, Punat Sangchu 1 and Punat Sangchu 2 hydroelectric projects are under construction, and soon their construction will also be over. All these basic details and basic data should be remembered so that you can mention it in your answer. About MSP, even though we have discussed already, I will provide you a brief information about the method of calculation of MSP and the major issues or problems related to MSP, that is minimum support price. Why are we providing MSP? MSP is provided to the farmers so that they can be guaranteed about their selling of the products at a particular cost. So even before going for production, they can be clear about at how much cost are we going to sell the product. So MSP in India is the floor price that is set by the government to ensure that farmers receive a minimum price for their agricultural produce. In total, we provide MSP for 23 agricultural products. Out of this, 22 products are crops to which we provide MSP, and there is one crop to which we provide fair and remunerative price, that is sugarcane. Because sugarcane is not collected by the government, it is collected by the sugar producing companies. So the government have mandated that you have to collect the sugarcane as a raw material at fair and remunerative price. So FRP is a type of MSP only. So in total, 23 crops, which include 14 kharif and 6 rabi crops. So 20 crops in total and 2 commercial crops. Try to remember the breakup also. 14 kharif crops, 6 rabi crops, and 2 commercial crops. Apart from this, 1 sugarcane crop to which we provide fair and remunerative price. So these data are extremely important. Calculation is based on the recommendation of Commission for Agricultural Costs and Price. The CACP will recommend the prices, and it will be the government which will decide about the prices that can be allocated. We have 3 important calculation for on basis of which the MSP is being calculated. These calculations are also extremely important. A2, A2 plus FL, and C2. Try to remember them clearly. It is important from mains point of view. It is important from prelims point of view too. What is A2? It is cost incurred in the production of a particular crop, all the input costs. So if I am a farmer and if I am trying to cultivate my land, what are all the input cost I will incur to cultivate the crop? So the amount of money I have spent on seeds, the amount of money I have spent on fertilizer, the amount of money I have spent on labor, the amount of money I have spent on tilling the land. So all these things come under the input cost. So that is A2. A2 plus FL. In this, in India, if you consider, mostly when we talk about agriculture, the entire family will be engaged in agriculture. So here we are calculating agricultural cost that can be calculated based on the family labor plus the total input cost. Input cost plus the family labor. Both combined together, we calculate the A2 plus FL. Finally, we are calculating C2. C2 is the best measure that can be considered because here we calculate A2 plus FL plus rental value of the owned land plus interest on fixed capital, rent paid for leased in land. So here, what are we calculating? We are calculating A2, we are calculating the family labor, we are adding up both. Apart from that, if I have, for example, 10 acres of land, the total amount of rent I could have received for this land, that also will be considered. Why are we considering it? Because just for the sake of doing agriculture, I am leaving out that interest which I can get, and I'm doing agriculture. If I can invest my land in some other way, I could have received a lot of rent. I am trying to get away from that, so that also will be considered in the third measure, that is C2. So this particular measure was recommended by MS Swaminathan committee, in which he told that we should consider C2 as the measure. The government maintains that MSP was calculated as it keeps telling that we have fixed MSP and it is 1.5 times of all India weighted average cost of production. So what the government consider is, it considers the second measure, that is A2 plus FL. It tells that we calculate A2 plus FL and then we increase it by 1.5 times so that our MSP is good. This is what the government tells, but there are several other problems. What are the problems? Why farmers have been agitating about the MSP issue? Why the farmers want to make MSP as a law? It is because if you look at the recommendation of Shantakumar committee related to MSP, Shantakumar clearly said that only 6% of the farmers in total, primarily those people who are involved in paddy cultivation or wheat cultivation in states such as Punjab, Haryana, etc., benefit from MSP. Others do not benefit from MSP. So this is what Shantakumar committee has told. Out of the total, let's say if 100 farmers are there, just six farmers are getting MSP. So what's the use of having MSP? Because in several states, MSP is not provided, and MSP is provided only for crops such as wheat and rice. For other crops, it is not provided, even though it is announced by the government. So this is a very big problem. In 2019, NABARD came up with a report in which it said that the average debt of the family of a farmer is about 1 lakh. 1 lakh debt is there as an average for farmers all over the country, which is a very sad reality. Apart from this, around 50% of the entire population of the country is involved in agriculture. 50% of the population of the country is involved in agriculture, whereas these kind of problems still exist in agriculture. So what is the way forward? The way forward is very simple. Come up with a law and guarantee whatever you are telling in the MSP, that out of for all the 23 crops we will be providing MSP. So try to give this in a legal way to each and every farmer all over the country. So this can be done. When you are calculating MSP, try to calculate it based on Swaminathan committee report, which said that it should be at least 50% more than weighted average cost of production, and here C2 should be considered. This is what MS Swaminathan said. Consider C2 and add 50% to it, then you get a very good value. So if you do all these things, farmers' problem will be resolved. One important topic for prelims, government e-marketplace. Government e-marketplace will soon be launching a mobile-based lending platform, which is called as GEM Sahay 2.0. GEM Sahay 2.0 will be a online app-based platform in which the startups can try to raise money also. So collateral-free loans will be provided up to 10 lakh to startups and entrepreneurs at the interest rate of just 10%, and it will be approved within 10 minutes. It is a excellent measure. So this will be provided by government e-marketplace specific app called as I 2.0. What exactly is government e-marketplace? Government e-marketplace is a kind of a marketplace which is online, in which all the goods as well as services, this is very important, goods as well as services can be bought and sold by the people. So any MSME or startup can register in government e-marketplace. They can sell their products, and the governments, departments, organizations, PSUs, etc. can purchase it from them directly. So here it is beneficial for the government, it is beneficial for the MSMEs and startups also. Most important point here, which ministry is implementing it? It is being implemented by Ministry of Commerce and Industry of Government of India. Apart from this, whenever we talk about government e-marketplace, we keep thinking that it is an online measure only, which is not true. We have GEM outlet stores also. Outlet stores are provided for certain specific products such as tribal based products, Ajivika Saras, startup, runway, khadi, handloom, handicraft, Divyangjan's products, these kind of things. So outlets are also there. Try to remember it. Do not get confused when you are getting a question on this. Mains practice question, explain the method of calculation of MSP. We already discussed about it. Suggest the measures to improve the MSP scenario in India. We have discussed about it also. You can write your answers. The state of global climate report, we discussed about it in the prelims practice question. What are the basic things which you need to remember? One thing, it is being given out by World Meteorological Organization. The state of global climate report, the last one, which was released in 2023, states that the global average near surface temperature has risen by 1.45 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial baseline. When we signed the Paris Climate Agreement, we said it should be less than 2 degrees Celsius by the end of the century, and we will even try to reduce it by 1.5 degrees Celsius, whereas already it has become 1.45 degrees Celsius according to World Meteorological Organization. So we are in 2024, just 24 years in the century, and we have already reached the target of 1.5 degree Celsius. So it is a very sad reality. And it also said that it was the warmest year ever. 2023 was the warmest year, and the last 10 years were the warmest decade in the entire in the entire period. So this is what the World Meteorological Organization has told. You can use these points in mains. You can use this. You can get a question about it in prelims also. So try to remember it clearly. That will be all for today. All the best. Study well. Let's meet tomorrow.